go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Suicide if you ever try to let go. Yeah, I'm sad alone. Yeah, I'm sad, I know. Yeah, who am I? Someone that's afraid to let go. You decide if you're ever gonna let me know. Suicide if you ever try to let go. Yeah, I'm sad alone. Yeah, I'm sad, I know. Yeah. I'm sad, I know, yeah.
Yes, we're all on the screen. Yeah, that's the type of situation it is. Okay. Hello, welcome to everybody. Y'all already know what we're here for. Make sure you are hitting that like button. Make sure you're leaving your commentary on this episode, because I love to see the lovers of the show rationalize the foolishness. But it's not just me. It's not just me. I have some lovely people here, some of the usual suspects for this show. Myself, we got Ashley with the sweet perspective, Kwana with her reviews, and Dom from Screen Static. Ashley, how you feeling? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing well. The show, on the other hand, listen, they told me to bring my tissue out last night, and I said, for why? For what? The only emotion that I felt while watching was anger, was upset. That's what I felt while watching, and not in the way you want sexy Dex. Like, it didn't go deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't deep. It was very superficial. It was very much a waste of an hour. I could have had a V8 and I could have had a nap, Tyra. I could have gone to bed at a decent hour instead of staying up and watching it. But of course, we'll get into it. But thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here to discuss it.
It's nice to know how you are, Ashley. I'm dumb. How are you doing?
Nah, I have been a staunch defender of this show. And I might have to skip an episode in my defense. I might have to pick up the defense next episode because boy.
Feeling real good. And Kwana, how are you doing today?
I fear I might be the lone man out this week. I actually didn't hate this episode. No, I stand by what I've been saying the entire time about the organization of the episodes. And it was clear to me watching last night that this was a good episode, in my opinion, but just misplaced. And I think if this had come before we got the events of episode 2, it would have hit all of its marks. So I liked it because I could see the vision. Just the execution was poor, in my opinion. But we'll get into the nitties and the gritties.
I am so shocked. Everything you just said, I expected to come from Dom. I just knew that because that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, if anybody's going to say it, it's most definitely going to be Dom. So I am shocked. Okay, but Overall thoughts, because Joel, you're a liar. That's the basis for this episode. You're a liar, Joel. I did not like this episode. I did not like this episode. Good or not, I'm not going to give it any brownie points for being misplaced. We have said, I don't know how many times this season, we know that we're going to get some Joel flashbacks. If you look at that trailer, Joel is present enough, and we didn't see any of those scenes prior to his death. So I thought we would get the sepia tone moments, you know, the whack ass moments we had of the Guitar Heroes. We were supposed to fade out and have little moments and get into the moments with Joel that would lead up to why she was mad in the first place, even though we all knew why Ellie was upset. This was drag. It was a drag. It was a pure drag. It was boring. I just wanted it to be over. They are rocking like we have a 20 episode season. I was like, I don't have time for this. We don't have time to linger here. And I knew it. Oh, you big mouths in the back. Yeah, give Joe the hoe. Yeah, we need more Joe. I told you, Joe did not need to not only just make an appearance, but he did not need a whole episode, because I knew that they were going to do this. Everything that they drug out in this episode, it could have been done 10 to 15 minutes tops in the beginning, but it wasn't. I hated everything about it. Need any of it? Anybody who shed some tears in the back, bless your little heart. Dom, overall thoughts.
Hated it. No, no. I understand what Quana said a little bit as far as the placement of the episode, because I do think it probably would have hit a little better if it would have been, I think, the episode right after Joe died, but or right before, either one. But it should have been much sooner than us getting it now. But also, it did not need a whole episode. The stuff that we saw did not need a whole episode. If it honestly, it might have hit better. I think it probably would have hit better if the stuff we dealt with in this scene was interspersed in the episode that Joel died, and then it just ends with Joel dying. That would have got the feels. That would have got me choked up. But other than that, no. This episode didn't really give me anything like to carry into next episode. And also, it reinforced what I said last time, which ending last episode with Joel just walking through the door served no purpose. There was no need for that moment in that episode. You could have just started. It didn't even continue. Like, it's not like this episode started right after that. That scene had no bearing whatsoever.
Fan service, Dom said, just when you thought it was gone. Look,
yeah, no, and that would have been better if last episode ended dark and red and dark. And then this episode starts, and the first thing we see is Joel and Ellie walking through the woods. That would have lifted our spirits. You know what I'm saying? We would have started on a high note. But you just wasted that at the end of the last episode, and then you went on to not do anything more this episode.
What about this season tells you that this show has not been showing their full hand? Just the whole deck, all season. There has been no true element of surprise. If this season has been nothing, it's been extremely predictable. Let them have it, Dom. Quana, overall thoughts of the episode?
I actually think that there were moments in this episode that would have made really interesting build-ups, or they could have built onto moments in order to create whole episodes. And I think I pulled it Ashley for once, and I watched the after the show, because I was like, let me just see what they're talking about. And I think because they're trying to pull so much fan service to the game people, and from what I understand, these moments were either interspersed and then some came at the very, very end, that they were trying to kind of pull one of those moments. I think they should have allowed themselves to be more creative and to give us more show than was in the game. And I think episode 2 was a classic end of season episode. I mean, you got a big battle with the whole town. You got the taking out of a hero. Why was that not the last episode? And then a couple of these moments, they could have kind of been showing us the break between Ellie and Joel along the way, so we would really feel that gasp of like, oh, she was going to forgive him. You know, she was going to forgive him. And then that happened. Why didn't we get that? But it's because they didn't let themselves go there. They were so worried about losing the game fans, I think, that they didn't give us that moment, and then they just forgot good TV. Why we got a season finale in the second episode. You don't ever get that. That never happens. And every time it does happen, the show majorly drops. I.e., Rick Grimes is passing in The Walking Dead. It's just somebody's gonna hire me one of these days to help them fix the way that they organize these shows.
Ashley, overall thoughts?
Trash, garbage, hot trash, receptacle, poo. Okay, feces. That's what this episode was. Because here's the thing, I too sat here and in my optimistic mind said, "Oh well, maybe if they had introduced this episode earlier, it might have cooked." This episode was never going to cook, and I'll tell you why. It's because Ellie is a degenerate. She's a demon seed. She's ungrateful. She's a wretch. And I mean, the little hoe has never been loved before, so she doesn't know what love looks like. That's the problem with the episode. That's the problem with the show. And here's another thing. All right, since we're here and we're talking about our overall thoughts, I still stand on what I said last week that Joel and the miscreant could have had an entire episode, okay? If we had gone back to the format of season 1, give me season 1, episode 2. Give me season 1, episode 3. I'm going to shed real tears because they were telling a story that made you feel something. The only thing, again, I felt was anger, hatred, dread, like I wanted to slap Ellie up and down the screen. And again, it could have been beautiful in theory, but again, him working on this damn guitar, this fast forward 1 year, work on the guitar again, let me add a pick, fast forward another year, let me take her out in the wild and let's hop on dinosaurs and go to museums. It was
Ashley, what is that?
It's because that's exactly how Ellie looked as she was
Lord,
it was they assaulted my intelligence and my feelings on this episode, and I'll never forgive them for that. And that's how I felt about this episode, you guys.
Dane, thank you so much for the $5. Any day that my melons can save me from being a hater is a good day. Thank you so much, Dane. You are really, really appreciated. Love you, Dane. Thank you. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else's super chat. Oh, Latino. Polly is in the house. Hi, Polly. Anybody who is here who has not checked out the Latino slant, get over there. Screw this show. I'm here to support struggles. That's all I need. That's all I need. That's all I need. Thank you so much, Polly.
We in the struggle today, too.
But it is because this is my entire issue, not just this episode, but with the show overall, is that we are trying really hard to rewrite history. They want us to forget. According to this season 1 never happened. Outside of the ending of season 1, where we decided to save Ellie, none of this occurred, okay? Because for the dynamics to have happened, that requires growth. And the Ellie that we're getting here, hell, even the Joel that we're getting here, we've been past that, long past that, episodes ago. Are we gonna just pretend that these things didn't happen? Because y'all try to get in here and rewrite the show. I don't give a damn about that game. I don't care. Low key, every single moment that they didn't have from the game, that's when they be over there doing the guitar solos. It's the stuff that I probably don't like. I'm not gonna let you guys do this. The first season was superb. It was hard to find a flaw. And then we get here and we take away agency. We do a little bit of character assassination. We regress and we act like we didn't go through the trenches with Joel and Ellie, to the point that I really liked Ellie, because them first 2-3 episodes of last season, I was like, man, get her. By the time we got to the end of our journey, you full on understood why Joel did what he did, for good or bad. We weren't going to allow this to happen because our relationship had grew so far. I'm your dad and you're my daughter. We are family. And then we get here and we act like none of this happened. It's just extremely goofy. We regress Ellie into some toddler childlike state. It was just awful. And I just don't like for people to play on my intentions, acting like, yeah, that didn't happen. None of this happened. None of this plot growth. None of this happened. You can't give me the ending where we're trying to save old dude in the woods and act like we don't know what it means to be bitten and have to sacrifice. And we didn't have that moment where we had to let go of Tez of all people. She has to go. We have to make that sacrifice. We're not going to go on this journey with, well, Joel, and I hate you, and I'm your fucking, I wish I'm your fucking partner. I'm not sure, I'm your partner. When we weren't in here trying to bring Joel back to life and resuscitate him with all our might in our little teenage state, even younger. We're not going to get here and frolic in the, I don't care, ain't nobody, in the fucking woods over a dinosaur, and it's just like we never seen wet water. We've gotten this with the whole giraffe situation. We didn't get that much damn excitement when Storm Reed took us to the mall. I was like, I'm not about to play with y'all. We're not going to be in here acting like we don't know how to conduct ourselves, armor, be stealth, be a shooter, when we had to fight our way out of intense situation. When old boy said, either you gonna join the flock and be one of my young wives, or we gonna cook you. I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm just not. That's all I wanted to say. We're gonna get to the episode. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. But getting on off into the things. It turned into Hereditary. I was like, who is it? Who this man? Who this man? I was like, oh, it turned into Hereditary because this is all passed down. The way we had to assassinate Joel in this moment because we need reason for now. Now he's a trash father, and he's a trash father because it was passed down from his father. We have Joel here. We do get one initial good thing. Tommy's in trouble. Apparently, Tommy was outside selling work on the corner. I don't know what was going on, and it was caught. But what you're not going to do is come in here and abuse Tommy on my watch. We're not taking it anymore. Even if it means standing up to my own father, I've always been that protector. We're getting into protecting. We're getting into sacrifice. High key Ellie in the situation. This has always been embedded in Joel. We get this little trash story from the dad, like, well, you know, it could be worse. You know, if you think, boy, if you, I had this ice cream this one time, it was hell on wheels. And it's just like, oh, okay, with every single generation, at least it's getting less and less volatile. Even when we're getting into Joel and his fatherhood, or even getting into, you know, Tommy and his babies and all this good stuff, it's getting less and less. But this set the tempo for the rest of the episode because it's been embedded in Joel to not only be a protector, but to also be, you know, a little volatile, a little liar. You little liar. Ashley, what did you think about this scene?
I didn't, because here's the thing. You're not going to give me 2 minutes of a flashback the world ending and make me somehow see Joel in a different light. I learned everything about damn Joel that I needed to learn in season 1. I know the type of man he is. I know he was a smuggler and a deceiver and a Decepticon before. I know he lost his daughter and carried guilt and the weight of the world on his shoulders. But I know at his core, he's a man of integrity and honor, and he loves very hard. Seeing his abusive, ratchet A daddy didn't do anything for me. Him standing up, you're not going to touch him, Dad. I was like, okay, like, I don't. This did nothing for me. And I get the people are going to say, well, this was so deep and so meaningful because it shows the roots of Joel and where he came from and this struggle that he was fighting against all of his life. At this point, Joel's dead. Joel's gone. He's dead. It doesn't matter to me now. Like, if we're not going to make the main thing, which for me is the relationship with Ellie, that's what the show has been hanging on that. And if it's not going to lead there, then I don't want it. I know that Joel is a good man. We established that in season 1. This episode, what it tried to do, honestly, is undo that work. And that pissed me off. Because Joel, for what, not for nothing, Joel is brazen. He's told lies before. He's done dirt before. But the one thing about Joel is he's going to stand on big business. He didn't stand on business here. And that's not the Joel that I know. And so for me, I think that's what's even more infuriating. Don't throw this at me. Don't throw this haphazard episode together and try to feed it to me like this is the best thing ever, when it's not. And don't waste this. I mean, you could have done this somewhere in season 1. You probably could have done this earlier in this season. I just don't care right now. I ain't care about his daddy. I don't give a damn, Tyra.
We didn't want it. Even if they did that, it would be redundant because we had already, even that, you know, the brief moments that we got with Joel's actual daughter. And we was working them 2 jobs and a side job and then some because I'm trying to be a provider. You know, the wife, the spouse is long gone. I'm a single dad. Like, and she loved her dad. We know how much he loved her because that's a testament to the state that Joel is left in to where he is, that worn, battered man. Because I lost something that was so important to me. He already had turned over a new leaf way before we ever met Ellie. Get this out of my face, dumb.
As a scene, as just an isolated scene, I really didn't have a problem with it. I felt like Joel did stand on business in this scene because he was like, even when you find out I'm lying, but you ain't gonna hurt him now. And so I felt like that's the same Joel that I watched later on. The problem I have is that, like what we'll say, it didn't mean anything. It didn't tell me anything more about Joel than I needed to know. I know Joel. I know that man. It's a good man, Savannah. I know that man. What I think, and to go to what Quana was saying earlier, I think that this was an opportunity for the show to kind of deviate or not stick so close to the game, in the sense of, like, instead of showing me Joel's father and how he was fathered, show me how he was a father. Like Joel had a kid, and the kid got kind of, I mean, she wasn't grown, but she was not a child either. She wasn't, 9 or 10. He had a kid. He had a child. And so you're trying to get me with this emotion of how he's trying to relate to Ellie and stuff like that. He's done some of this before, obviously, in different circumstances and stuff like that, because the world existed. But, like, show me a juxtaposition of how he's trying to raise a daughter under the apocalypse versus how he raised a daughter in civilization. Show me some more of that. Because that would be heart-wrenching if stuff that he's dealing with Ellie is like triggering him from the other daughter that he already lost. Show me some of that. But, like, showing me how he was beat and so he not beating you, so it's kind of okay. That's not getting me the feels. Sorry.
Quana?
I agree with what Dom just said, and I will go one further to say, if, from what I understand, happens in the game with Joel's death and who is actually there when he dies in the game, this scene would have hit harder. If they would have found a way to connect this scene back to Tommy in some way, this scene might have hit harder. Because, like everybody's already said, like Ashley already said, we already know what kind of man Joel is. So this scene, to me, I didn't need this to remember what kind of man he was in terms of a father figure, in terms of a parental figure for Ellie. This was doing nothing but the whole time I was watching it, making me think more about his relationship with Tommy and how he was willing to do everything for Tommy, because we don't get to see him and Tommy a whole lot. We see them in episode 1 of season 1, and then we meet back up with him. And so that was a loss in my opinion, because they deviated from that, and that's where this scene could have connected. And if nothing else, this could have been a great flashback for Tommy. Like, if when we see Tommy's character wrestling with the decision of whether he's going to go after them or not, go after the wolves or not, and he has back to this moment of Joel being willing to do whatever it took to defend him, that would have made this scene worth it. It just didn't fit in this collage of scenes, because all the other scenes have to center around him and Ellie. And again, we didn't need this scene to connect him to Ellie. He was connected to Ellie because he was already a daughter of a little girl, and now he's another daughter. That was his second chance, and now he's wrestling with, did he get that chance right? So I just felt like it was misplaced.
I feel like they put this here to justify the new Joel that we're getting in this episode and nothing more. I don't think it was any deeper thought or meaning behind it. They were like, yeah, y'all know this show. This is not the Joel. This is the Joel that we need you guys to have. So when Ellie's 17 and she's humming on the mic in the room, it was always something embedded that you didn't quite see because of his upbringing. Like, don't put this in my face, you fake bastards. Thank you so much, Latino Slant, for the $2. Father's now bad. F this show. That's what they said. That's what they said, Polly. I'm not going to believe it, because we know Joe. Like I said, y'all not going to rewrite anybody's history all the way down to Ellie, because I don't know who the hell these people are, low key.
Yeah, and I thought that this scene was supposed to, like, give some insight into, like, his decision to lie to Ellie.
Yeah.
But to me, it's the opposite because his father sat down and told him the truth. So,
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't. I thought they would tie something like that. Also, I was waiting. I even ran it back and watched it a couple of times. It was just like, no. It was just. It felt like a history of violence. Like, oh, our family have all. It's like, what? What are you trying to say about Joe? But we said a whole lot about this damn guitar. Spent a whole lot of time here. He trading goods in the bar with Seth because I'm gonna give my baby this gift. I have to pause here because the show paused on it for quite some time in the episode because they want so hard to have that connect because we've had I don't know how many sing-alongs with two or three. It feels like it. I'm lost count. I think it's because they know me so much with Ellie, and we're supposed to tie this back into something that they did together. And this is her connection back to Joel when she's out in Seattle and all those good things, remembering him. I just I feel like this show has suffered immensely with pacing. For whatever this season, the pacing is an issue. We are lingering on shots and the beauty and the moths and the did you see the dust foil off this guitar? Oh, they were like, what are we doing? I don't know what's up with these stylistic decisions. Typically, that was not an issue the first season, but here it lends itself to the boredom that I felt like I was getting in this episode because as Joel is drilling away, I'm looking at my watch because how long do we have to stay here? Quana, the significance of this guitar, did you care?
I could care less. This is what happens when you take a game, make the first game one season. Okay, cool. And then you take the second game, you say, you know what? We need to get a little bit more juice out of this. Let's stretch this bad boy for 2 or 3 more seasons. It doesn't match up. So now you got to spend time lingering on these moments that are, I guess, meant to just be payoff for the game fans, but it really does feel like it's a little bit too tedious. We done seen that daggone guitar now how many times. We didn't need this moment. Again, I left the episode not feeling like, I guess because I'm, any parent would do the same thing. I didn't leave feeling like Joel was a bad dad. I just felt like this is a teenager and a dad dynamic, but we didn't need this moment to believe that he cared about Ellie. He obviously cares about Ellie because he threw aside all of humanity to save Ellie. So we didn't need these 3, 4, 5 minutes of him making this guitar. It was cute though. It was a cute guitar.
That was cute. As you said before with that second episode, if that was the issue, we don't really have too much material because we're working on the game in this way, then just have all of season 2 be Jackson. Just have that. Have the death and the stampede of it all, that final episode. And it's just like, whoa, what's going to happen with that, that next season? We've lost Joel. We could have done that. Nobody said that you guys had to make fetch happen right now. Like, and they actually had me watching them creators at the end of the episode act like they made gold. I was like, oh my god, and I had to mute it. It was disturbing because they genuinely feel like this is not how you craft a show. These were terrible ideas. Dumb, the guitar.
It was why I just expected it to mean something more. I expected it to have some more significance other than we both like music. It's just like, especially like you said, they've been dropping these breadcrumbs, and they're not even breadcrumbs; they whole loaves that they've been dropping all season. But Ellie then found 12,000 pristine, mint condition guitars 20 years after the apocalypse, just laying around and been able to play in an amphitheater just because. And I was expecting it to build. I was like, it got to build to a moment and a moment of real connection between them. And it was really just like I carved a moth into a piece of wood and I gave it to you. And I'm like, well, why doesn't she have this attachment to the person who tattooed the moth on her? Like, it just, I don't. And did we ever get any real? Because I know we talked about what the moth means, and it's supposed to be death. But did we talk about the fact? I mean, did we handle what that means to Ellie? I don't know. I think I might have checked out.
No, it was just in the episode. It's just supposed to mean change. Like I'm changing. Yeah, well, that's it. It's very basic. Okay. Ashley,
you know I don't care about any of this. You know I don't. Um, he sings a little ditty. Like, okay, like it was beyond. Like, I'm still just trying to really wrap my head around how they are swearing they ate with this. Like you said it best last night. She's like, "Oh my God, it's Mayfair all over again." I don't know how you come off the greatness of a season one. And someone said, I don't think you guys would be interested going forward, whatever. It's not so much the material as it is the presentation and the execution of said material. Like Quana said earlier, it's really just poor execution at this point. This could have been beautiful, which is why I stand on business that I wouldn't have been mad at a Joel Ellie episode if it had been in the style and form of season one. But it just felt very redundant. It felt overdone. It felt very lazy. It felt like, oh, we need to just kind of put something here, to give the people a send off. Or like you guys are saying in the comments, let's just justify why Joel had to go or why Ellie was so insufferable with him, right? And again, like you guys have said, I'll echo the sentiment over again. It's never going to make me change my mind. Joel did what he did. He stood on business with it, and it was what it was. Damn it. And like I said, I do it again. So no, this doesn't mean anything to me. Over the course of 5 years, I want to see utopia. I want to see the 5 years in Jackson that were so beautiful. And if you want to harp on the issue of the issue, then make that the thing. Like, oh yeah, this disgruntled situation. I had to lie to you, Ellie, about this because you weren't going to let it go. This man couldn't come back. Damn it. This man from the Matrix, he couldn't come back to Jackson. I can't take that risk. All the people there, like, I guess lean into that more. But I didn't need, like I said, in the fields of moss, I didn't need this guitar. And then even with the damn guitar, we didn't get to really see no lessons. We see
No.
time. He's like, okay, there you go. We didn't even get to see a guitar lesson. I'm aggravated.
Goddamn Joe giving his best shot. I hurt myself today. You are not Johnny Cash, sir. Please, Joe, shut it off now, Joe. To see if I could feel that he was trying to sell it. He was, but Joe,
tell them to go talk to Ryan Coogler about how to make a guitar important. Like, golly, I want to go see Sammy guitar. Give me a whole episode about Sammy's guitar because that was the guitar I care about.
But it was at this point that we realized, the entire episode is going to consist in a year of birthdays, starting with 16. Oh, God. Whose idea was this? Why? Oh, my goodness. Like, first of all, I was already heated with the little guitar. Okay, fine. We understand that it is supposed to be significant, so let's let Joel have his time. Right when Tommy brings Elle into the scene, y'all know I've had an issue with her acting this season. It's just not cooking. This was awful. It was awful. It felt like they forgot everything that she had been through in the first season. So for us to really have a juxtaposition of the adult Ellie we've been getting all season, we are going to bring you this Ellie, but this Ellie is 15 turning 16, so we need her to act accordingly. Was she special? Was there a small bus involved? I wanted to know. I wanted to know, was there a class, where we go as a group, okay? And we have some handlers. Because I was confused at the behavior. I don't want to hear nothing about, she was locked up. She barely got to experience the world. So the thoughts of a planetarium and a dinosaur in the solar system was just mind-blowing. These are things that she's just getting to experience for the first time. Fine. The behavior was taking me out of the scene. Her facial expressions were taking me out of the scene. I have Caillou down there because it gave Caillou. It was... Oh, wait, hey, Ellie, get down, baby, hey, baby, can you get down from there? Hey, it's a dinosaur! Oh my God, it's a dinosaur!
Oh, wait, hey now.
Excuse me?
Dinosaurs are cool.
Excuse me?
I don't care how old you are.
Please, I just can't. I understand the significance here. We are starting off strong in Jackson. We don't, have that tension just yet. it's not just, the significance of the planetarium and her turning 16 and the cake and Joel trying to do his dad thing. She is coming in. We are drugged up because we had to dope her up. She burnt her arm. We're dealing with the bites and things that she's trying to conceal. I want to move beyond being, the immune. I can't be infected. Let me cover these things up. This is prior to her getting the actual tattoo. I understand the significance of that, as well as the play me something, Joe. I hurt myself today. All right, cut it off, Joe. Cut it off, Joe, right now. All the time that we spent here in this planetarium, blast liftoff, you could have kept it. You could have kept it. I was very, very annoyed. And I just felt like somebody with some type of degree to work with a certain type of child needed to be there to hold Ellie's hand, because Joel was clearly unequipped. And I don't want to hear nothing about she was high from whatever she took. She was given special. Good special. All special is good. Nothing wrong with that. But it was giving special. Dumb.
Again, this episode is too long. It didn't need to be an episode. I would have been okay with one thing. So if we're gonna do the guitar, that can be the thing. If we're gonna do the dinosaur, that can be the thing. If we're gonna do space, that can be the thing. But I didn't need all three things. I didn't need all three childhood things because a child, even being 15, 16, being fascinated with these things, and Ellie, even from season 1, was reading books from old times and was curious about the time before and stuff like that. So I have no issue with her being fascinated with a thing.
Watch your hands in a cake, Dom. Well,
the cake thing. Immediately when I saw the cake thing, I was like, "Well, when did she develop table manners? At what point would she have table manners?" I immediately thought of like Donnie from Wild Thornberries. I did not. It wasn't endearing to me. Like I wasn't like smiling, like, "Oh, it's so cute." I just didn't care. I was like, "Yeah, okay, I fine," and move on. Like it didn't bother me, but it also didn't like bring a tear to my eye. And then the shuttle scene, her locking herself in the shuttle and him giving her the tape, like if that scene by itself, I liked. I don't, and then getting the helmet, the museum scene, I was here for. It was the dinosaur scene before it, and it was a lot. It was just an abundance of all of this. I didn't need all of it. I needed the one good scene.
Actually, I hurt myself today to see if I could feel, and I also went to space.
Girl, that means you need to be in a padded cell as well. Because what the hell? When she said, "Yeah, I just set it up next to the pot. I wanted to wear short sleeves." Girl, go to hell, Ellie. Respectfully. Part of me said, well, maybe this is like a mechanism of storytelling. Maybe they're trying to convey the fact that, she went through this adultification process when she was out in the wild with Storm, with Joel, whatever. And now that she's in Jackson, she can revert and she can, be a kid again and do all of those things. It didn't land still for me. It didn't. I was so aggravated and annoyed. Girl, if you want to get a surgery to cover up your bite marks, talk to Joel about there's somebody in the place we can get to do something. Don't put your arm up against a hot pot. Like, it gave that she was special. It gave that she was delayed. It gave that she had learned absolutely nothing for me. And again, like I said, this face that she made while they were out there, this and then you're busting glass and these people's, I'm just like, well, do we still have no common? It's like, it took me down there. This is the moment I pull out my phone and I'm scrolling on TikTok and I'm scrolling on Instagram. This means nothing to me, y'all. It didn't give me the feels. It didn't give me the chills. And I'm a cry baby walker. All right, I'm gonna shed a tear. This was just a waste of time for me. I didn't get. We know they're close. We know they got a relationship. We know he loves her down. We knew or thought we knew Ellie loved him. I thought, after season 1.
I thought you loved me. I thought you loved me, Wanda.
Foraging for Joel. And now, it was terrible. Waste of time. maybe Dom, you're right. Maybe if it had just been one, but this was overkill. Like y'all are doing
It's a
too
lot.
much. And
We
where
did all of this to go back to, hey, remember that tape? You remember
the
that tape? He's giving it to her.
the after show, oh, the dinosaur. That was like our crown jewel in the episode. You know what it took to get that dinosaur there? And then our director of photography, which eats, and I think the director of photography should win something, at least be nominated for this season. It's been beautifully shot. But girl, we don't give a damn about this T-Rex. Like, it's fine, it's cute, but stop. Like, stop it.
And there's no justification. There's no build up or reason for her to be this excited. Like, oh, it's a dinosaur. Like, okay, when did we talk about dinosaur? Wait, I don't. I felt like I missed something because I'm like,
we're regressing. We had to go back. Like, hey, y'all remember? Ellie ain't never been nowhere, ain't never had nothing. Remember, smell my palm. Remember that? Remember the scenes from last season? Like, we're beyond this. She wasn't this excited in the mall with Stormy, as I said.
which should have blew her mind.
Yeah. We were calmer in there, but this dinosaur. Oh, thank you so much, Dane, for the $2. 100 men versus Tyra's cynicism. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose every time. Because where was the lie? Where was the lie? You know how many kids I've worked with, how many kids I've taught that were on the spectrum? Please. I'll put the helmet on her down there. Even when she got in there, she busted the glass and got that helmet on. I was like, yeah, baby, you put that helmet on. You put it on, sweetie pie. Yeah, you do that. Thank you so much, Darfalina. Ellie was going to extremes to hide the fact that she's immune. I'm over it. Quana, we went to the planetarium. Oh my god.
Again, I'm going to say what I've been saying. That I want to harp on all the same things, which is all these moments, all these side quests from the show, from the game, and even like side quests in the show. They could have worked if these side quests were the planetarium episode 1 of this season. Because if y'all remember, season 1, the last episode was when they got away from the fireflies. They saw the giraffe, but they hadn't made it back to Jackson. If this was a side quest back to Jackson and like Ellie's birthday and going like that, and they were fighting, we've got zombies, but then we had this little peaceful moment in the midst of them fighting zombies to get back, that would have been bomb. Then we go to the next year of Ellie's life. And
Wanda, you cannot rewrite the whole show. This is what these people gave us.
I know, but that's what they needed. Somebody in the room to say, hey, y'all got some of this stuff will work. Y'all just packaging it wrong. Then she meet the little teenagers. She's trying to fit in, but she can't wear the little short sleeves. Teenagers do dumb stuff like this. I teach teenagers every day. They do dumb. I can see that she got peer pressure. She's trying to fit in. She go burn her arm. Then episode 3, if they would have broke these little moments and then we ended on where it ended in episode 2, that's what would have made this. So it's just infuriating because it's like it could have been a cute little moment in a side quest on episode 1, and they got to fight zombies to get there or to get out of there or something like that. There are no zombies. We ain't saw no cordyceps. What was that? Wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. So then that would made it like it's tainted. It's like, okay, these are all these sweet moments, but it's just packaged wrong. It just bothers me so bad. It's like they forgot how to make good TV.
No, so each day I grow some more. I like exploring.
Hey, why you put Caillou on here? Because you know I can't stand some Caillou. Every time I see that little boy,
that's how she was acting in this episode, all the way down to the episode. That's how she was acting. I was like, look at Caillou, little round ass face, making me mad.
Yes, why did you have to that boy like that?
This is not our Joel. This is not our Joel. The gasping that happened to my chest when they were walking for her to start acting like Caillou after we dug all of our fingers and like, girl, you just be putting them. We already established you be putting them fingers in places. Girl, look, don't put your damn fingers in that cake like that. It's like, so, you and Jesse spend a lot of time together. I was like, whose man's is this? Who is this? This is not Joe. This is not Joe. Nobody, I don't know. Little gamers, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this Joel? This was Joel was doing in the game? This what Joel was doing in the game? We're gonna excuse it as game behavior. This entire episode, this was not Joel. And I just wanted to say that. If anybody wanted to elaborate, you can, or I'm gonna go to the next slide. But I just wanted to say this was not Joel.
I'll defend it a little bit in the sense of like Thematically, I'll say that Joel being awkward when trying to be in father mode is consistent. And now Joel dealing with I don't remember and I'll say this, I don't care if it is game Joel or not because it's a TV show. So whatever is in the game, if you're gonna put it in a TV show, you still got to justify it. And so I don't remember how old his first daughter got, and so if he ever got to deal with this,
She's at
but
least 13.
that's what I'm saying. I know she got to be, she was at home by herself and stuff. So
14.
but whenever he tries to like get into that mode with Ellie, especially when it's not like survival mode, when he's just trying to be a parent, it does get a little awkward, and he kind of stumbles through it. And so to me, that was consistent. And then I felt like they were trying to remind us that this is 2003 mentality, people. And so it's like, yeah, the idea that you like women is not
There
a
you go
part.
with the year. There you go with it. That'd be your zinger. Remember, I don't want to hear that. And this is not even the portion where I was like, when we get to the death and how that was executed, say this is not Joel. This is not Joel. And the fact that
I thought it was not Ellie. I think it's Joel. I don't think it was Ellie.
it's neither one of them.
No,
It's
I think it's Joel. I think that's Joel all day.
This ain't Joel. This is not Joel. This is not like it's just not.
The fact that Ellie didn't understand is the crazy part. But Joel, because we got to kill him now. Yeah, that's Joel. No. We ain't got no time to play around with it. We got to put him down now.
We gonna talk about it because that ain't what I saw. But actually, I want to come to you because this is what has bothered me the most. Hey kiddo, why has the show regressed Ellie so much? Why do you think that this choice was made?
There is some weird stuff going on and some speculation that I've read and heard just as we've been watching the season that the actor themselves, didn't want to be portrayed as a very young girl anymore because I guess she is an adult woman, right? And so I think that part of the adultification was that, right? The kind of playing with that, because that's been a big qualm for me watching the season, because I feel like we've been playing like this. It's been a yo-yo. We see her mature last season, right? We see her grow over the course of the season and how she's interacting, how she's moving. Then in the first episodes of this season, we see her doing the dumbest things of all. Like, girl, you used to be out here in these streets with the clickers in them, and you just have no situational awareness now. Like, you've lost all of that. And then, of course, seeing the flashback 5 years ago, I think it's because they were trying to show us that she has grown to what we know now, but it doesn't land because the current Ellie we know present day is still very young-minded. Like, her and her jackhammer fingers, her and her loudness, her and her just overall awkwardness as it relates to whatever, since Ellie's been getting coochie for a couple years now. We saw it last night, right? So there's no excuse. And Dom, I'm sorry, you're the one who said it. Oh, it's new for her. She's been getting the box. There's no excuse for it. So as far as them regressing her, I thought it had intention and, intentionality. But at this point, I just feel like they have just made a mess of it. Because there's no reason that the life skills that she had, like, I know I need food on this quest, right? For revenge.
First aid.
Map. I know I'm gonna know how to triangulate something. I don't need Dina for that. So I don't know. I think it's probably around that, like making Dina necessary and continuing to shove her down our throats. But it's really, really pissed me off because this is definitely not the Ellie that we've known before. And I think it's sad because, like I said, I know you don't feel this way, but I think Bella Ramsey is capable. I do. I think she has it in her. I think that this is just poor, lazy writing for her character this season. Honestly.
This is capable. Maxie, that's capable.
They told her to act. That's how they directed her, Tyra. I don't
have it to compare it to. I'm sorry, because the acting has been subpar as hell this season. Anybody else want to elaborate on why we regressed Ellie?
Yeah, I think Ashley hit it on the head. Just listening to Bella Ramsey talk about um, their journey in life and things like that. And then I think also with some of the online vitriol that the actors get, we're sitting here dissecting it from a show perspective, but people do go hard in the paint against like the actors are in the acting is the acting, but the writing is the writing, and the actors are not responsible for the writing. And people really come for it. So I think I've heard a lot of speculation around a lot of the changes that were made with how they presented what happens with Abby, and the fact that we got that scene so early, and we got Abby telling the backstory and telling like, you did this to my daddy, so I'm going to do it to you, was so that people wouldn't hate on the actress online.
Oh,
And if these studios would do a better job of protecting their actors after the fact, they wouldn't have to necessarily make changes to the content and to the art in order to protect them. But we know that they don't do a good job of protecting their clients. We see it all the time with the Disney movies. They don't protect the actors and things like that. So I think that this was a misguided attempt at kind of premeditated doing that, and it took away from what we were supposed to be getting on the show, which is a whole lot of telling us things and not a lot of showing us things. And that's the thing that is suffers the worst, because you sitting here telling us how important Dina is, making Dina so important. We haven't seen anything with regard to Ellie and Dina to make us know or care why she would be so important to Ellie. Certainly not more important than her relationship with Joel. So you didn't show us that. And even with regards to what happens later, it would have made a nice little episode if maybe we had seen Eugene take an interest in Ellie and like help her, or like something that would make her care, because Ellie knows the outcomes. Ellie knows the outcomes. I ain't gonna go too far, but I'm just saying they're just not. I don't know. But the goofy part of it, the little Max and goofy of it all. Yeah, I think it is because they're trying to both tackle aging the actor, but at the same time protecting them from the weird kind of pedophilic communities that lurk online and sexualize them.
I haven't heard more hatred for Bella Ramsey, her acting, her presence on the show. It's more than ever now. The only like quorum people seem to have with that first season was, well, she doesn't look like the girl in the game.
Well, because they wanted her to be hot. The argument was they wanted her to be hot, and it's like, why did you want a 15-year-old to be hot?
But and then whatever, those weirdos, it really didn't matter though, because her performance and what she did, it was undeniable. You couldn't be upset at it because it was so good. Now they are attacking her more than ever because now people are mad that the show is trash. Let's get them down the road. Let's go on ahead and forage. I just had to acknowledge it because it was really, really bad this episode. We are forcing Gail down our throats. Now, if I know nobody's in the game, it's Gail's ass. All the time that we spent with Gail from the first episode all the way up to this one, and the stock we were putting in her husband and what was done, once again, there has yet to be an element of surprise. There's only one reason that Joel is going to take somebody out. So we knew that husband had probably turned, and we knew the scenario. This annoyed me so much when he came and sat down in this woman's face, plexed already. This is prior, like, girl, we didn't even text your husband yet. It's just like, oh, do I look like I have an open sign on my forehead? Like, girl, shut up, Kevin McAllister's mom. We don't even like you like that. But when he sat here and asked her about a moth and what else, like, so you want to waste our time, right? You want to waste our time. You want us not to care. You couldn't want us to care. And my issue is, what does Gail mean at the end of the day? What purpose does she hold for us to have the moments with her, the therapy session, the situations with Tommy, getting her commentary all down at the baseball field? We didn't need any of this. This didn't enhance the episode at all. I could give a damn about Gail. And this is our Joel. He's going to sit down and ask her, so what is a moth? Like, what's the meaning? What? So now he's Max and Goofy. So now he's Goofy and she's Max, and we're just all just dumb. Does anybody care about Gail or care to explain why she is ever present in the damn show?
I really don't know, because every scene that we've gotten with Gail could have been serviced by another character. Like all of these conversations and all of these therapy sessions with Gail could have been something that we dealt with Tommy. And if he wanted to learn some weird information about what moths mean, he could have asked Tara. Like it could have, we could have gotten characters that we actually want to see that fulfill this role. The only purpose I can see to justify her existence is to this tension, is to be a catalyst for this tension between her and Ellie over her husband. And I don't see another purpose for her.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I thought I was waiting. I was like, so is her husband going to walk in? Are we going to see why them shoes are still at the door and why? Like, feed the fantasy. It was just nothing. We came and sat and asked this question for no reason at all. Anybody else?
I wanted Gail to be a supervillain. I wanted evil Kevin McAllister's mama to be the inside man. I wanted her working with the damn Fireflies or some covert operation. And like, I wanted that. But the way it's shaping up, it was nothing of the sort. Literally, this was just to fuel Ellie's animus towards Joel. I think it was useless. I think we could have arrived here a different way. Like Dom said, I didn't need her, but it's good to see her. I'm glad evil Kevin McAllister's mama is working and over here past Schitt's Creek. I adore her as an actress, but I feel as though they've wasted even her talent and character in this because it's really drive-bys, right? Like we see her in passing, like, oh, okay, girl. All right. I think the most we got was Joel's session with her, right? And this is supposed to just let us know that they had this relationship, you know, whatever, and she was fighting past her anger. But really, we don't give a damn. Poor Gail. It could have been better, but it falls flat for me.
I did not need Catherine O'Hara in this show. And this solidified it. I'm like, Ashley, if they had made her like an evil supervillain, and maybe there's time. Maybe that is a way for them to, since there's only 2 games and they don't have more, maybe she's going to turn into something. As of right now, that paycheck could have went to something else. Because I know that you got to pay Catherine O'Hara. She's a legend of the game. You're not paying her beans. They could have had a regular working character actress that they could have got for a fourth of the price, I'm sure, and it would have served the same exact purpose. We didn't need her because we have enough big names on this show as it is. And so it kind of ticked me off because I was just like, oh, well, dang, is this really all that we're going to do with her? It's just to connect back to that moment right there. They could have used literally any actress working who needed a paycheck for this. It was really wasted. So that ticked me off more than anything, because I'm like, well, dang, that was maybe some money that could have went to Jeffrey. We could have had Jeffrey, because here we go once again proving the point that we can't have Pedro and Jeffrey in the same episode because we can't afford them.
Nope.
And we can't afford them because Catherine got the money, and Catherine stay booked and busy.
Yeah, she does.
She about to be in, and I think they said they might be making a third Beetlejuice. So she about to stay more booked and busy.
I'm just mad because we didn't need an additional anything at all. As much as I love that episode from the first season where we have Joe reach Jackson and realize, oh, my brother has grown way beyond us being out there scavenging, and like he's a father, he's this, like he doesn't even want to go on these missions anymore. I was coming to rescue him from what? He's living his best life. And he's a father. He could have been having these conversations with Tommy. He could have been having these conversations with Tommy, especially since they wanted to endear Dina to us so much and have her there doing the death on this trip, frolicking down Main Street, and not be Tommy. He could have been here. Like we didn't need Catherine. There's maybe still time, but my hopes of her being a supervillain were like completely stripped because your Plex would have been with Joel, and why would you be Plex with Ellie when she was the one in the end to tell you the truth? Like. It feels like a name drop at this point. But we're going to take a pause for the cause because there are 105 of you guys in here. And I would like all 105 of you guys to hit that like button wherever you are. Here's your moment to do so. We will be right back.
This ain't what you project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 60 with I just wanna rock. I just wanna rock. Body out of ya. Shorty got that body out of ya. Hit it once, no time. Set up, fuck, you gon' kill my time. Stand on my money, don't know my size. Pick them sides, and you better choose wisely. That's my high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. That's my heart. This ain't what you want. Project. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. 60 lip.
Child, Soul 10, you couldn't tell me that wasn't what they were going to do before we actually had the moment with Abby. And I thought Abby was really going to have to work her way to get through the town and get into, well, there is somebody here and immune, and she was going to be over there with the wolves and plotting because you took my husband. Like, child, they didn't do nothing with Catherine besides waste our time, which is sad because she is such a great actress. But, we can't go back. This is what we have now. They didn't give us much choice. But you don't even own anything. They made room for teenage angst because we can never have too much of that. You don't even own in the whole damn end of the world apocalypse. You don't even own anything. When she said that, I fell out like that. Really? They gave this to you. This isn't your. The first thing I thought about in this scene was during I think either the first or the second episode when we had I think it was Quana who said, because if Daddy Joe was around, he would have been super accepting of Ellie's sexuality, but it's too bad that we couldn't really get there or have those conversations, because who wouldn't be accepting if it wasn't Joe? I did not like this because so quickly it left like teen angst and forging ahead, my independence, I'm discovering myself, and we kind of stopped at sexuality. I was like, why? This where we going with? I was like, oh, this is really not Joe. We made it all about it gave, you ain't finna be gay up in this house. I was like, what? Why would we go here? Why? This is how she ended up out there in a shed, a garage, whatever it is. I didn't like this. I really didn't like this. Ellie's 17 at this point, and Joe's being a proud dad coming in with the cake. He's like, what's that smell? Smells like I don't know what, but let me open this door. And she's in there with the girl. We get that. We doing a little pie. We're also getting our tattoo. So we putting it all right here. So what that, I got a little coochie, smoked some weed, and got a whole tattoo right in this very moment. You don't even own anything, Joel. Like, now this, of course, is supposed to be in connection with the deep-rooted feelings of, not only am I growing up and I do want to forge ahead with my independence, but I know deep down that you are lying to me about what occurred in Seattle. I'm trying to, get the courage up to say it. But before we can even get there, a birthday rolls by and it's like, oh, well, she's been begging and plotting this whole time to be out there in the field and handling a gun. And yeah, let me have my way. All of that stuff. But this was, I didn't like the line that it told. It just kind of, I forgot about the independence and the resentment that she may have because you lied to me. It just kind of fell on sexuality to me, and it's not a phase, Joel. It's not. I was like, oh God, can y'all pull out any more tropes? Can we not? The last person I expected getting back into my dad was my dad and it's hereditary and I'm a man of a certain age. Regardless, I don't give a damn if this was '02. Joel never gave, you ain't gonna be licking coochie in this house. Where's Jesse? Because I need a boy on hand. He never gave that. I thought if anybody was going to be accepting, or at least, I'm not expecting him to, go around with the rainbow flag or anything, but, okay, this is different. But, well, let's talk about it. How I didn't expect this and her trying to pack that mattress out of there on her damn back. Ashley?
My issue with gratuitousness, right? And I just feel like this served no purpose for the narrative. They've been fist feeding it to us the whole time with, oh yeah, what's that? Oh, they must really just love their town. It's the pride. And then we're over here, like, we get it. and it's fine and you're accepted. And Joel went fisticuffs all about you, Ellie, and you got mad at Joel about it a couple days later. I think the only thing that I believed was sincere in the interaction around sexuality between Joel and Ellie when he was like, yeah, have we ever had the birds and bees talk? That's the only thing that I bought in the conversation because he's clunky. And I do see him having a reaction if he saw her in bed with someone, just as the shock of a father seeing their daughter. But I don't think that Joel would have casted any judgment around her sexuality or any. He's seen it other places. He's seen it in the town. Joel is a man of this world. He's been all around and seen all manner of things. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it would surprise me if this is the first time he's seen something like this. And my thing is, Joel being very observant, very astute. We knew who Ellie was season one, baby. You mean Joel had no clue after knowing her for all of these years that she liked girly pops? Like, I don't care. That's not what was important to me as far as the story and pushing the narrative along. And I don't like what it insinuates about Joel because Ellie didn't need another reason to hate Joel. The whole lying about, whatever was enough for me. I'm curious about their motivation, and I'm curious if that is the narrative pushed in the game because it seemed out of the blue. It felt added on. For what purpose, I don't know, but it felt like a throwaway. Ellie carrying the mattress on her back because she is just so proclaimed that Joel would have an issue with her getting boxed out in the house was crazy as hell to me. And the fact that you're moving this mattress in a thunderstorm is even more diabolical. They want us to be dumb this season. They want us to not know these characters. They are treating us like Joe Schmo off the street, not like loyal supporters of the show who've been watching the entire time and know the character of both of these people. It's and as far as her having an inkling, an idea, Ellie, you're not that smart. You've never been that smart, boo, to even question it. So I would be more concerned about what was kind of like the little bird in her ear that's making her question. And then you ruined my purpose, Joel. That was what I was supposed to do. Really, Ellie? Like, girl, shut up. She's never given, I'm a true believer and I'm just going to lay it all down. I hated it, Tyra, because I didn't understand it, and I think it didn't make sense for me in who we know these people to be so far.
I hated this episode because it was like out of nowhere. Pedro's balls just dropped, and we had to emasculate him to get somewhere. All of this, like when she said, like, "Oh, I'm moving the mattress," da 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 da, and he's like, "Well, wait, hold on, let me clean it up first." I thought he was gonna say, "No, you're not moving no damn. We need to talk about this." Like, when did her aging equate to disrespect and talking back and calling him out his name at times and da 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 because I'm 17? What? It's like immediately we don't want a father anymore. We don't want we don't. And it's just because we're getting older. It's natural for teenagers to want their independence and their distance, but it's never going to be. When I've seen the comments say, well, he is from 1980s Texas. These are not everyday average lives. these are not like we're in Jackson for security because it's a war zone on the outside. Like, I can't treat this like the everyday average. Well, it is this time of year, and this is no. These are not everyday circumstances, and I'm not going to treat them like they are. And I'm not going to act like Joe didn't have a whole arc where when we had the same sex couple first season, and it was just like I found friendship here, I found protection here. Even with the man, like, you know what, Joel, I never liked you, but here are some things that I want to leave to you, and Tess and all these things. It was such a grown-up moment for Joel. Even in this time, there could still be friendships, even with a couple who has the same sex. At the end of the day, in this day and age, it's not about that. I'm just happy to be a father, have a daughter, and that we're both freaking alive. But we're in here throwing mattresses on our back, talking about you don't even own anything. Get out of my face. Dumb.
All right. Here I am alone again. All right, listen. It is very clear that yes, this is not every Sunday afternoon in our world, and they don't have to deal with our comfortability and stuff. True, this is very true. But at the same time, a lot of I think it's difficult or it's unwise to add our modern and our comfortable sensibilities onto people who didn't go through what we went through. And so Joel made it to 2002, 2003, and it seems like a long time ago. It was not that long ago. And but the idea of how society, especially society in the South, but society in general, viewed homosexuality in 2001, 2, and 3 was very, very, very different than how it's viewed now. And I don't think Joel came off as a bigot. I don't think Joel came off as Terrence Howard in Empire putting his kid in the trash can. That's not how he came off to me. He came off with his normal being challenged. His normal thought process of how things work is that men like women and women like men. That is normal. And anything else is weird. It's an experiment. It's an aberration. That was his normal. So when he sees Ellie doing this, his normal suggests that this is just you being weird. And now it's up to the person who's feeling that to educate you and be like, no, this isn't me being weird. This is just me. These are the conversations we had in the early 2000s. This is why in X-Men 2, which came out in the early 2000s, you had Iceman being gay and coming out the closet in the movie, and his parents, who he thought loved them, are like, well, have you tried not being a mutant? These were conversations we were having at the time, and you got to think about what they Will and Grace was out for 3-4 seasons at this point. Ellen DeGeneres was only was a novelty at this point. Like the idea of this being comfortable or normal was very, very, very far from reality at this point. And so Joel just had a new normal, and he came around. He came around in like a day. The next conversation they had about it, he was like, "Okay, well, all right, this is who you are," and he was fine. It just took him a second. It didn't take him long. And I think Terrence Howard didn't like his gay son for 5 seasons. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was a modern show. And so I'm just like, Joel, I don't think how Joel reacted was that wild. And I think how Ellie reacted as far as moving, I'm moving out or I'm getting out. I'm taking my toy and my blanket and I'm leaving. That's some teenage stuff. It's some TV teenage stuff, but it's teenage stuff. Out of all the things in the episode that were offensive to me, this exchange wasn't. It was like, okay, what is an ABC Family Seventh Heaven episode like in the apocalypse? Fine.
We said right now, but all right.
But I'm just saying that it didn't. This part did not bother me because it was regular TV, in my opinion. It wasn't that bad.
How did it push the narrative forward, Dom? What did it do to get us to the next point?
To me, it illustrates the growing divide between them because Joel is because the what is it, the Salt Lake City thing is the large dark cloud that's hanging over their relationship, but it's also like the straw that broke the camel's back. All of these other things, they have to deal with that. In the midst of all these other things, he's still trying to be a father, and he's still trying to understand and struggling to understand his daughter. And I think that's what this scene was supposed to encapsulate.
It don't make no never mind to me because the Joel that we know gives, I don't give a damn who you love. Like, you want to talk about it? Like, how do you feel? It gives that. I don't even care about the year or what it is. Not every single person was just phobic in that way or scared or intimidated or no, you're supposed to like this gender. Joel gives, okay, like, I feel like the Joel that we got, it would have been like, well, I always maybe suspected, like, instead of, well, Jesse's over there, like, he just gives, like, he would have initiated the conversation of, so have you thought about you getting older? Have you thought about dating anybody? Like, he would inquire because let's not.
I think that's a modern interpretation. I don't think 2003 people are like, you always did seem a little sweet to me. I don't know.
Quanah,
come on now, Dom. You ain't met no kids
Not-
when you was young, and you were
Well,
like,
not for a girl. If we talking about a boy, sure, because the signs are a little bit more obvious. But for a girl, in 2003 you could still be a tomboy. In 2003, you had to like have red hair to be considered gay. Like this, like it was a different time. Like you can't be a tomboy now. You something else. You know, it's different now. But like there, if she wears chucks and jeans and
stop playing them mental gymnastics. Quanta, what did you think, Quanta? Because I know you didn't mind this episode. How did you feel about this?
So one of the things I said in my comments was, I understand the beats where they were trying to get to. They just did not think about what made logical sense for the characters. I would disagree with Dom a little bit and say, I don't think Joel would have been shocked at the gender of the person Ellie was interested in. I think he just would have been shocked that Ellie was interested in somebody. I think, like as a dad who has, okay, taking Ellie away from Bella, because I think Ellie is a girl or sees herself as a girl, but she's certainly a tomboy. And I think Joel, in raising a tomboy, would be like, oh, dang, I didn't know you was ready to be smashing somebody yet. Like, it would be giving more like, I just didn't think we were there right now. Now I'm shocked at who it's with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's the kind of person that he would be. So I feel like the conversation would have been more like, if they were going to have it at all, like, oh, so this is where we at. Well, I mean, but not in my house because I'm not ready for that yet. Or like more giving that kind of energy. I just feel like the question around the sexuality, it's giving there are 2,000 people left in the United States alive. and 20 years goes by. Why is that necessary? Why can't we create a vision of a world in which they got to fight zombies and each other? Why is somebody's sexuality even a thing? To me, the flag in 2 episodes ago, it should have been more just like a relic from the past. Like a relic from the past that we had to have flags and things to represent who we were. And now we don't necessarily need to have that because at the end of the day, we just killing each other over here. Now we got other divisions and things like that. Why can't they just create that vision and instead show us that world? And I get where maybe even the show, the actors, they want to have that representation. But I think having that representation in a world where it's almost like Bridgerton-izing it a bit, where it's like, what would have happened if race had been dealt with kind of thing, where it's like, what if we all fighting to survive, we didn't care who somebody was smashing at the end of the day. And Joel was just caring that his kid was smashing, not necessarily who his kid was smashing. The other thing is, why does Ellie wouldn't care about a mortgage? If you're not going to show us to have some town meetings, why is that a point of conversation? She don't know what a mortgage is. Are they sitting in civics class somewhere? They sitting in, what's it, business, personal finance class, had life skills. They got to get the fake money and pretend like they're going to buy an apartment. That's not why would she be saying to him, this is not your house? Unless there was something going on in the town where she was talking about them not fitting in. But again, we haven't seen that, so that wouldn't be a point. So that was the problem I had with this scene, because none of that just meant you don't own anything. What?
Yeah, like, I don't even know what her concept of ownership is.
Where is that coming from? Yeah. Like, girl, like what? Who's talking to you?
I don't remember coming up. We own that house on 54th Street. You never lived in a home.
That is something Seth would be telling her if she was hanging out with old man Seth, and Seth was like, well, y'all really don't own that house over there on Maple Street. That really, like what
that would have worked. That would have worked. We've used Seth in an abundance of the show at this point. It feels like one of the writers is, same gender loving, maybe, catering to the Ellie character or whoever. It just feels like we're checking off boxes. And I don't know. It just felt like,
Ellie can be and should be gay. It just shouldn't be a point of conversation with her and Joel.
It should.
Joel just would not. Just nothing that they've given us. When that girl was looking at that Playboy in the backseat of the car in that one episode, and she was like, "Oh, okay." Joel would have clocked that then and been like, "Okay, well, that's the time we need to be on." Okay.
I don't know. It just feels forced and very heavy handed in this. I think that's the contingency that I have with her relationship with
Wait.
Dina. It's just like, we want y'all to see this. I'm gay and happy about it. All right, we're cool with it. We don't care about that. We just
don't
want a good
care.
story. But
Going back to Don bringing up sinners, Joel would have been showing her where the button was. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, ain't no way.
they
would have said, well, if that's what we're gonna do, baby girl, if that's what we're gonna do, let me just let you know right now. There's a special
Wait, no, and this
button.
is why, because I know y'all and in the comments talk about I be doing mental gymnastics. But let me because if you want to talk about Joel's character being consistent with Joel's character, everything he does, and this is why I said we should have had more scenes with him and his daughter, because every
No. I already know what you're doing. Here you go. You and Quan trying to go back and rewrite history and implement.
No. I'm just saying. No. I'm not inventing or adding anything new.
Okay, go ahead.
No. All I'm saying is every time that we see him try and be father to Ellie, if we're not killing zombies, if we're not doing that or trying to survive, his frame of reference is always from time before. He always has a frame of reference of this is how we do it and this is how it should be done because this is what we did before. There's no indication that he's adapted his mindset in the 20 years since the world ended. He stayed back there and kept consistent. So it makes sense that his mindset in everything would be consistent. There's nothing he's done. There's nothing he's done that shows an elevated mindset from 2003.
No, we adapted a mindset because we had to adapt to our surroundings. We've adapted so much that we tried to take our own life because we thought it was that unbearable. Like we have no choice but to adapt to the circumstances, dog.
Yeah, we adapt to the specific circumstances of we don't have batteries or we don't have cell phone. Well, we didn't have, but we don't have TV anymore. But his frame of reference, his values, his determination of right and wrong, his frame of reference, if it's not about survival, it's still from 2003.
But he did have a black wife, though, Dom. He did have a black wife.
Ain't mental.
We had interracial relationships in 2003, and he's not white. He's also not white.
No, Dom, you don't see the evolution in Joel from season 1, episode 1 to now. Even just his heart, even as a man. He's changed. Joel is a changed person.
I'll say Joel is a changed person in how he deals with Ellie and stuff like that because of him personally. I'm saying his frame of reference and like his values and stuff. His values haven't changed. Like I'm saying what he thinks is normal, what he thinks is proper, his frame of reference is still from before. That's why every time he tries to correct Ellie about the right way to do something or how it's supposed to be done, it's from his frame of reference of before. It's never of, well, 10 years ago, we developed this custom to do it like this, and so now we do it like this. That's not happening. It's when we had cars and we had lights and we had laws, we did it like this, and so now you should also do it like this. There's never an adaptation of his perspective in that sense of like how society works. His idea of how society works has not changed.
JD said, hold the line, Dom. Hold the line. Somebody better hold it for you, JD, because I ain't holding a damn thing. Like, no, I'm not going to let you spread that on my cracker, Dom. Absolutely not. We're going to let Dom hold the line. Somebody got to hold the anchor because the ship going down. Aggy as hell, though. I put this on her face because, girl, you got one more time to curse it. You got one more time to cuss at him. The way she was acting out here, and, this is our first mission, and he tells her, like, oh, you know what? There's danger afoot. Go on, cuss again, heifer. She was just so, it feels like they are regressing her, making her annoying, trying to make us not like her. So I was like, is she leaving the show? Is Dina going to be our main character moving forward? Like, what are we doing here?
I hope so. I could only hope.
What are we doing here? But the face in the activity in the wooded area when we were trying to be safe, whatever, you want to tag along and be treated as an equal, fine. Your wording means everything, because who you cussing at, ho? I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I said it. I didn't like it. She's annoying. But this brings us here. A waste of this actor, because he's a really great actor. We seen him when we was like, ooh, The Matrix. Ooh, Memento. He's, really great actor. But once again, with everything that we've been through, we got here. We could have at least had her have some interaction with this man prior to this. And so like, oh, Eugene. Oh, and it's like, no. danger afoot. We're still unaware, very much so, that we see a whole body just dragging a horse. We see a dead, like, some things have occurred. Bottom line, this man has been bitten. We holding out hands for 10 seconds, doing a countdown. We've seen how this goes. You don't get to set the motion of the clock for when somebody's going to turn. And it's not like we are hopping and skip away from Jackson. It takes time to get back there. Even if I wanted to, why would we risk our well-being, all of the town, hell, Gale, to get this man back there? What I didn't like about this was this fed into the narrative of whoever they want Joel to be now. I could be wrong, but I feel like the Joel that we've met, as Ashley would say, standing on big business, he has to die. He has to die. I'm going to shoot him, and this is what we're doing. Even if they wanted to go with the, well, I know how she feels about this man. We don't know. But he's important. Let me send her away, having to lie to her. If they wanted to tie it back to the lie, fine. But let me send her away and do it on my own time in, this wooded area, and I'll explain it later. I do not see Joel lying to Gil about it. I just don't see that. I don't see him lying to her about it. Lying to Ellie so she could shield and go away and come back. But you promised me. Whatever. Yeah, because I don't want you to be here to see me do it, but it had to be done. We can't risk that. Jackson is too important. We're too important. It's other things at stake, even if you love Eugene down, which we don't know about. But lying when he lied to Gail, and I was like, when he was setting up the lie, I was like, what are we doing? Joe was very much, it had to be done. It had to be done. And then okay, so when we get back to Jackson, this is what we're going to say. I was like, what? So now we have to double down that harshly on him being a liar. We could have stopped it at, you promised me. Let him see his fucking wife, Joe. Who he talks to, girl? Who he talks to, little girl? We had to double down. It couldn't just be gone off, get the horses, whatever. I see you there in a minute. I'm going to let him say his goodbyes to Gail. He had to lie twice for it to be like, oh, I always knew you was a liar, a deceiver, a manipulator, just like you did in Seattle. Same face. We had to diminish Joel that badly and make him this much of a liar to get there. Get out of my face. Corner.
The focal of this scene should have been on the way Ellie has changed and less about trying to convince us that Joel has changed. Because I will agree with you, Ashley, Joel hasn't changed. He's still the same guy. This is the same guy who would take out the Fireflies over you trying to kill his kid because y'all might be able to get a cure. He's like, this is the world that I know. I'm sticking by this world. The world that I know is you get bit and you not Ellie, you got to die. The to me, the change up here was Ellie, but the problem is we haven't seen enough of Ellie from who she was when she was on the run with Joel to now to understand why she would react the way that she has. So it was a letdown for me in that regards. Shout out to my boy Joe. Goonies is one of my favorite movies, so I love Oh Boy. I was hated to see him go out like that, but it was just, again, I think we should have gotten more about how Ellie has changed and what makes this moment kind of on the rocks with her and Joel through that perspective, because Joel is still the same dude. I think we all know Joel did nothing wrong. He did what had to be done.
Would he lie about it though, Corner?
Would he lie? Oh,
I don't see that.
I think because he lied to Ellie. I think it goes back to that lie that he told, right? It's the same, like she said, it's the same face. The problem is that was he wrong to lie? Not really. I mean, based on the rules of this world, he needs to keep the calm. He needs to keep the peace. He needs to maintain the town. I don't think he was wrong to lie. I guess that's maybe that's
of why he needed to lie to Ellie in that moment is totally different from me in this scene. I'm sure Eugene wasn't the first or the last to go off and forage. And hey, there was an incident. You died out there. You fell into the elements. You were bit, whatever. Every person in Jackson isn't going to go on to live a brighter day. I'm sure he's not the first or the last death. I just did not see the sense in us needing to make up a lie and lie to Gail about it. I don't know. That was just me. Dumb.
I'm quickly realizing I didn't have as many problems with this episode as everybody else did. This to me was storytelling in the sense of like in the sense of the storytelling that I appreciate, and this was a lot more of show don't tell. This was context clues because um like Quana said, the lie.
Mhm.
Like I agree that Joel has not changed. This is Joel, prime Joel. The problem is Ellie, and the reason for Ellie's reaction is told to us and is shown to us. Ellie, well, first of all, Ellie has always had a problem with secrets because she struggled to keep her being immune to secret. She don't really feel comfortable with that one, and so and so her and secrets have always had a weird relationship, and then to now see Joel lie. Joel lying to this woman isn't the problem. It isn't as big of a problem as it's made out to be. The problem is you lied to this woman we don't know the same way you lied. You gave me the same face. So if you gonna lie to me, what does that say about our relationship? And now the
I love
divide.
y'all in the chat. Support Dom in this chat, y'all.
Get out of here. Stay strong, Dom. Stay
Hey,
strong.
hold the line, though.
Well, no, because I have every confidence that if Ellie was not there, if she had stayed home and didn't go on patrol and it was just Joel by himself, he would have shot him right there in the woods, went home, and told that lady exactly what he planned to tell him and how he was a hero and how he did it himself and how he wanted to say goodbye, but he didn't want to endanger her. Give her a story that comforts her. You don't want to tell him that he was a sniveling coward and didn't even really want to comfort her. He just wanted some comfort himself before he died. You don't want to tell her the widow that. You want to give her something to hold on to so she can feel comfortable. That's what Joel did. And the only reason Ellie had a problem with it is because she's struggling with Joel lying to her. And so it all came out, and she's being a teenage sabotage. And that's what teenage people do, is they sabotage shit. And so I didn't have a problem. The only problem I had with this scene is that we wasted a great actor. I wanted him smoking cigarettes and chasing down Daredevil.
I was going to say that every single thing that you said would have made sense. Even Ellie's reaction, if we had seen Joel at least 2 to 3 times before now. We had all the damn time for Gail. We don't know this man. We don't know this. So the connection, the reaction, it already seems far-fetched, but it's enough. You know, the lie is just too much already. But yeah, you're not going to do this. Eugene meant something. Gail means something. The town means something to us. If you're not going to tell her the truth, I am.
I don't think that Eugene and Gail are the significant part. I think they're I think that the reason that we have these two random people are because they're Jackson people, and because over and over in this episode and throughout the season, we keep having to reiterate that Joel is the new guy. Joel isn't. Joel even says at the beginning of this episode, I've been here 2 months, but they still call him new guy. He's not really acclimated and accepted yet. And him coming back and killing one of these members, and especially if you tell the truth about how you killed them,
no head nod. I saw you. Don't give him that. Don't justify. Nah, we don't. No tears across the boards. We will not. I refuse. No. Ashley.
None of that matters. I don't give a single damn. This man has essentially sentenced mankind to oblivion to save you, and you fix your mouth. And I don't care if she had a problem with it. You don't tell this hoe that. We're not going to tell this grieving woman that Joel lied. I don't give a damn what Joel did in the woods. I don't care if the man had counted to 100. If Joel said he needed to go down, damn it, he needed to go down, and keep your mouth closed. Do you hear me? Keep your mouth closed. That's your father. That's your father. Be mad at him in the garage. You don't be mad at him in front of Gail. Ellie is an agent of chaos. She is the spawn of Satan. Because, girl, when did you become an expert? You think because you're immune, you know every damn thing, Ellie? Since you went to college, you went to the College of the Cordyceps. You think you know everything? Girl, counting to 10. How does that equate to mileage? Oh, he counted to Shimmer, and we make our way back to Jackson. Ellie, again, go directly, immediately to the hot place. And finally, last but not least, Eugene got everything he deserved out there because assume the mother effing position. We saw it on the day of reckoning in Jackson. Them triple OGs that were on the roof, the snipers, you know what happened when they got attacked? They said, all right, they got on their knees and they assumed the damn position because they knew there's nothing to be done. Eugene was a coward. He was a cad, and he deserved to die the way he did in the woods at the hand of Joel. And to be honest with you, Joel did him a kindness, giving him a beautiful view of in the mountains. I thought it was a kindness. This misery.
Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers.
I mean, ultimately, why lie when the truth will do? But Joel just was doing what he needed to do. Joel's been making the hard decisions his whole, you know what I mean? And he said there's no redemption from this unless she beheads Abby and the rest of these gang of minions out here, the wolf pack, the 90210 wolf pack. I don't want to hear from Ellie again. Until I see their heads on a spike, I don't want to hear from Ellie again because this was it for me. This was it. You ungrateful wretch. That I don't have any for her.
His hand not even shaking. We have time. Mind you, we went 10 paces to the left and he was already transforming, looking at the flowers, looking at the scenery. Get the hell out of here. I agreed with the execution, not so much the lie. I don't feel like he would lie about this, but okay, we can disagree on that. Whatever.
I got a question there. I got a question.
Jesus.
What's the what's the functional difference? What's the distinction between the lie he told Ellie and the lie he was gonna tell Gail? Like what's the qualitative difference that makes
different way? Like that lie, that pressure, that journey. That if, like I said, if we had seen them in town and seen the significance of Eugene and why the heart would have been so heavy. I can't do this to Gail. We couldn't even have a goddamn moment with the moth. She said, get out my face. We couldn't even have that. So you can't have the same equation when we went on this journey for 10 episodes last season or whatever. And now I have to make this decision. I can't. And I can't even confront you and say what I did. I'm going to lie about it. It's too heavy. I couldn't let you go. Who the hell is Eugene? Who is Eugene? We don't know that because we was it's Eugene. We don't know Eugene, Ellie. We don't.
But we know not. Joel. We know Joel.
I know Joel. That's why I don't think he would have lied.
Once a liar. If you think you know best and lying is gonna spare some people some hurt, one person and another person is no different.
Mm-mm. I just feel like, yeah, I killed. It had to be done. He was bit. Like, I could see if it was a mistake and it was like, oh snap, I thought you look so, just disheveled. You look like you were transitioned or you had been bitten, or a scenario to where he accidentally shot Eugene and like, oh, I didn't.
So unkept.
Yeah, something. I don't know. You see that man being dragged horseback. I was like, what the hell's going on in the woods? We don't know. Like, clearly an incident had happened. You could have Eugene coming to like, oh god, oh hell. You remember that scene from Zombieland where Bill Murray was pretending and then they shot him on accident?
That's like, maybe
something like that would have made sense to me with this.
But see, that would have been more against Joel's character because Joel not gonna lie to protect himself and not morally.
Out of here. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here. I'm not playing with you, dumb. You and these mental gymnastics. We have the goddamn Olympics at this point. Ellie's purpose and her choice. Oh god, Ellie get on my nerves, bro. She get on my nerves. Like this is the last conversation that you had with him. Whatever. The way we were sure to cheer. We tore him down to the white meat. We tore him down. We already had that moment. And, we weren't going to P.O.P. hold it down. Just because you're a liar doesn't mean I have to be. Gail, he shot him down. He was begging for his life to come see you, girl. And he shot him in the woods. He didn't give a damn. We have that. Then we have to have another moment regurgitate. Like we don't need the POV of of him seeing Seth, and we know what happened. We don't need to linger here with Dina doing the Watusi in the middle of the function. We don't need that. But we have that. And the lashing out and the conversation that we didn't get to see on this porch. We already knew that this is why she was mad, but now we finally get to see it in the flesh. I mean, what did we expect from Joel? We knew that I couldn't do it. I couldn't. When she called Joel selfish, like, I died a little inside. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Even if it's a little true. It pissed me off. It pissed me off because how quickly with these characters we forget the journey, the sacrifice. You know what we've been to each other. To have like zero capacity or understanding as to why I couldn't let these people dissect you and kill you. Fine, we're upset, we're hurt. How could you do that? That was my choice. You stole my purpose. She has. I'll stand on it from season 1. She has such a punchable face. Just hit her in the face. Hit her in the face. Your purpose, like, you can't come to the groups of understanding why, as your dad, because I don't give a damn. I'm your dad at this point. You my baby. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Stole her purpose. I just feel like that's putting a lot on it. She just act like something was just ripped from her hands. And then we try to cover it up with a Band-Aid. Because don't forget, even though we displayed all this bull crap in this episode, we still care about Joel. Maybe it's something I can come to forgive. Like, oh, shut up. Shut up. Go away from me with this. The best thing that could have happened in this scene was him breaking that damn guitar like it was the end of a rock show. Get the hell out of my face. Quan.
I've wrestled with Ellie and her purpose since season 1. Because as a parent, I 100% understand where Joel is. I'm gonna come for anybody who come against me and mine. Somebody tried to touch one hair on either one of my baby's heads, and I am going for the jugular with my bare teeth like Rick Grimes. So I can understand to a point Ellie's perspective. I think if the storytelling of the show is better, and what I mean by that is I feel like maybe a lot of this is wrapped up in, of course, the loss of her parents, her not having parents, but then Riley, right? And I think if we saw more of like the impact of that, and that was still a lingering thing. But at this point now, we don't even know if she still even thinks about Riley, if that's really that much of a foundational moment in her life where she feels the regret and the heaviness of that, because she's like, if there was a cure, then Riley wouldn't have died or whatever. I wouldn't have to kill her, that kind of thing. But we don't even see inside Ellie's mind to know that that's something she thinks about in that way. So I didn't like this confrontation the way it played out. I did like the scene in certain aspects, but just I feel like we only get this mention of her purpose like twice in the whole show. Perfect. And if this is how she feels, I feel like we should kind of linger with this or see moments with her. And I think one of the issues with the show is season 1 is through Joel's perspective. Season 2 is supposed to be through Ellie's perspective, but it's not. What we gotten is the Ellie and Dina show. And we haven't really sat with how Ellie really feels. And even in this, it was a lot of back and forth, but it wasn't about her emotional core. So again, I feel like that's the part that's not earned. The changes that have happened within Ellie, that's not earned because they have not really shown us those things. So yeah, he wasn't, I mean, was he selfish? Yeah, of course he was selfish. But anytime you love somebody, there's a certain selfishness in it.
I don't know. It was just hard for me to swallow because so much of the first season, we got that like whatever happens tempo in that final episode. But the bulk of the first season was all everybody always leaves me. Everybody always abandons me. Everybody I've ever loved always dies. So you have that with the weight of not only is this my baby, but in just that push and pull that Joel had. He kept trying to kind of put her off on someone because I don't need this. And up until the moment that it was like, no, I need to be here. This is my baby. I'm going to ride with you out to the end. Not even when we get to Jackson and I'm going to pass you over to Tommy. I'm going to continue on even though it seems like I'm about to have a damn heart attack at any moment. But her strongest narrative was everybody either leaves me or they dies. I've always been alone. Like, and then this, like, my purpose? Like, this is your purpose? Ashley?
So the little scoundrel has all the audacity in the world for me.
Girl.
Ho, if this is your purpose, go give your body to science. Go turn yourself over to the wolf pack, to the damn seraphites. Turn it over to somebody since you want to be used for science. Here's the thing. Joel could never win in a situation like that. Whether he goes into it and she dies unbeknownst to her, yeah, they're gonna give you a lobotomy, sis, and they're gonna do all these things, or he saved her. It's a lose situation. So what does he do? He follows his heart. And for me, it was the selfish thing, because girl, you're calling him selfish? Him? Yet you're not even putting yourself in his position. He's already lost a daughter at the hand of this world-ending cataclysmic situation, and you think he's going to sacrifice another one? Girl, go directly to hell. And you wouldn't have had all this box. You wouldn't have had all these experiences. You wouldn't have had any part of the life that you've had without his selfishness. Girl, it's just the audacity, the unmitigated gall for me that she would fix her raggedy mouth to sit up there and talk about, I might be able to forgive you. And now you're on a quest for this man you might be able to forgive because he ruined your purpose and your destiny. If you're brimming with purpose, what does he say in Loki?
Burdened with glorious purpose.
Burdened with this damn glorious purpose. Go sign up. Go over to Abby and them. They would gladly sacrifice you to find a cure. It was disingenuous for me. This was about her hurt feelings and feeling as if he'd wronged her by not telling her this great truth. That wasn't what she wanted. Girl, be so serious. And the fact that I gotta sit up here and watch tears fall from Joel's eyes after I had to watch him be after I had to watch him get destroyed and decimated by apple cider vinegar, I don't want to be over here anymore. I don't want any parts of this. This just pissed me off. I thought maybe this will bring me closure. You know, I said, well, we'll find out because this was predictable. We knew this was the cause of the rift, right? But to see it really gave no payoff for me. It angered me. That's what it did. Because Ellie can go to hell. At this point, Abby, do your worst to her. Go ahead. I guess we'll get a cure for humanity after all. I was on Joel's side. Save her. Now, no, I don't give a damn, Ellie. Let's use her parts for science at this point.
Ciao. Dumb. Even at this moment and all that we've done, all that we've seen, the state of Jackson, her life still hasn't started yet because this was her. You stole my purpose. I've been lost floundering in these damn Jackson streets all this time because you stole this from me.
So, two things. One, I agree with every point that Ashley made. I did bullet point by bullet point. I agree with her assessment of Ellie. The second thing, the difference with me is it didn't anger me. I wasn't mad about it because this is not I don't want to say a child because she's not a child at this point, but this is a young adult. And like y'all said earlier about this isn't our world, this is the apocalypse. This is an apocalyptic version. We've seen this scene 500 times. We've seen this scene every time, from High School Musical to whatever. Is every time to Roll Bounce. It's just whenever somebody get their big chest, they feel like they grown, and now they just discount everything their parent has done for them. This is my house, this is my bills, the lights on because of me. Everything I done been through for you, you ungrateful little piece of nothing. And you got the nerve to be upset about anything I done to you, even though I put all of this stuff in front of you. This conversation has happened since cinema. And so it's just now layered with these high ordeals and all of this type of stuff. Ellie being 19 and feeling purposeless, and then now finding out that she could have served a purpose and it taken away. I agree with Ashley. This is not about that. She doesn't really want to be cut in 14 different pieces and used as fodder for a cure. That's not what she wants. But this is a substitute for how she's really feeling. She feels betrayed because she was lied to, and she has all these other emotions bubbling up, and she's lashing out. And now she's on this not well executed revenge tour because she's guilty over having lashed out at her father like that. That's what this is. So I agree with it. I just didn't bother me because this is a teen. When you can't have a non-adult in a show and expect them to do adult stuff and to have adult capabilities and have adult maturity. She's not mature. I don't expect her to be Joel. I don't expect her to be Tommy. I don't expect her to be Tara. I expect her to be a 19-year-old girl who didn't get to grow up with anything like a support system.
Be a 19-year-old. Y'all have selective. It's fine. Every single time it's a moment of stupidity. Well, she's only a girl. Fuck her. I'm just not. I'm just not like, get out of my face. Like, you girl, go on over there and give your body away. Maybe, yeah, there's a gun. Go do your best. Go, be one with yourself. If it's just all that. Please. She act like she had, oh God, all this time. I could have just died over there. What? Girl, shut up and say what you really want to say. You got mouth for cat. But here we are. That little cutaway to the end pissed me off. I was like, oh, now we're back. Oh God. It just really let me know we wasted so much time and she's poaching on some random ass building. It just fades to black. Like, ooh, the journey. Get out of my face. It's piss poor direction and pacing. But now we're back to the mission at hand. Now that we know where we supposed to place Joe. Like, at this point, y'all should have just left Joe where he was. Like, this was a disservice to his character, in my opinion. But we're going to embark on, like, you left that previous episode, the moment, and even though it was still one of my favorite, there were enough highlights in episode 5 to really build up anticipation of what was to come. Now you snatched it all away with this episode. Don't give a damn. Expectations are low. We're tired. Lowered expectations. Mad TV. I'm drained. And now we want to pick her back up again because it's the finale. Yeah. Kwana, any predictions for what we're going to get in a season finale, which sounds crazy?
I absolutely have no predictions because I still stand 10 toes down that episode 2 should have been the season finale. I don't think for a second with how they've rushed this story that we're going to really get a true encounter. We can't jump past how many people did Abby have with her? At least a good 6? And we've only met one of them right now. We can't jump past all the other 4 people if Nora was the low-hanging fruit and think we're going to get straight to Abby in this episode. We might knock a couple down, but at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to get an encounter with Ellie and Abby in this episode. Or if we do, it's certainly not going to be a takedown, right? So I'm really, I think they showed us a clip of Isaac. Isn't that what Jeffrey's character's name is? So I think we'll get a glimpse of him, but I really don't have a whole lot of hope. Sad to say, because I don't know what we're building up. Like, what are we building up toward? Is it? I think there's going to be a death. I think it's going to be the person from Jackson. I think that person's going to die because I don't know why that person. We have to have somebody die, and now he's the only other person that we have that we might have some attachment to. So I think he's going to die. And that's about all I can give you. That's the only prediction I can give you.
I was just hoping Jesse would, throw Dora over his shoulder and take her on back to Jackson. We would be in the thick of it, what it looks like about to happen with her going into this building. And just like the one episode before that with Jesse, he's going to come in just in the nick of time, and then they cross paths and we journey on into the next season with her and Tommy. Don't leave us with her alone. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. That would be a really tragic idea. Don't do that. We need someone there. And it damn sure don't need to be a pregnant Dina. Leave her with Tommy and have us embark into the next season. Please. Dumb.
Yeah, I want more Dina.
Ashley's face.
The only one, Dom, who wants more Dina.
Well, as much as I defend Ellie, Dina's a better character in this season. I don't. This just the truth. Um, this season finale can only be disappointing. I don't. Because HBO got to this rhythm with a couple of the shows. They started with Game of Thrones, and they started this thing where like the penultimate episode was like the big action, the big drama episode, and then the season finale was like the aftermath, and then it was like a lead into what's going to happen next season. And so we didn't get that this time. We did, so I can't even imagine what we'll get in the season finale. We can't have if we have a confrontation with Abby, it won't be satisfying. It'll either feel rushed or inconsistent or something like that because it's just not enough time unless this is going to be a 2.5-hour episode. The only prediction is something that could never happen, and that's the episode starts with Ellie being John Wick and just going through all the other people that came with Abby, and then it ends on them just going at it at the end of the episode. I would like what Quana said. I do think that they mishandled the rollout of this season, but the only thing I don't think that episode 2 could have been the season finale, or I get why they didn't want it to be the season finale, because there's no way that because Joel's death was not a surprise. No. I'm saying because it was such a thing in the games and it happens early in the game that by the time if they were going to build towards that as a season finale, we'd all know about it by this point we'd all know what was going to happen, and it wouldn't have the same impact because it would have been spoiled 15 times over, and because all the game people would have been upset that it didn't happen early.
We always put them game people on us. We don't care about them people. It would have flowed so much better, Don. We could have gotten them injection, foraging, killing zombies, build up to the ice cracking. Something's afoot. Like every day, something's different. The tension within their relationship. We could have gotten to know people in the community more. It would have been a really great season.
Well, I think it would have been a great way to do it, and that would have been a very typical way of how TV shows do it, especially HBO shows. Well, no, I'm saying I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is typical. I mean, that's the roller. I think that they should have killed Joel in episode 2 or 3. They could have pushed it in episode and killed him in 3, but they should have just committed to it. Don't give me glimpses of Pedro Pascal through the rest of the season, because now you're diluting the impact of his death. Give me enough context before his death that I feel it, and then kill him. And I need not see Pedro Pascal ever again.
All 7 of these episodes, the way we could have gotten here, and maybe later I can get to forgive you, and we do that episode 5, and we're building it up, seeing him grow and all these things. It would have been perfect. We wouldn't have seen. I don't know about them gamers. I don't play no games. I wouldn't have known it was coming. I would have known it was coming either way. And even if it was something linked out, because what's going on? They steering from the game. Normally Joel's dead. Even if I would have known beforehand, we would have spent so much time. It would have still impacted me personally the exact same way, because we know what Joel means. And this is right at the moment that everything is finally out in the open. She knows the truth, and now he dies. Like, this is messed up. They were just about to really repair their relationship. It's been tension between the both of them since episode 2.
Yeah, I just think that it would have been more impactful, and it would have been more bold to kill him, to kill the main character like they did in that start. Kill him early, and now we have to deal with the impact of that, and let the whole rest of the season and like Game of Thrones, the whole show is the ramification.
Don't put that on me.
I'm just saying the whole show is the ramifications of them killing Ned Stark. That's the whole show. And I'm like, they could.
Tyra ain't seen it. Just spoiled it all.
Would you? So sorry. It's a 10-year-old show.
Off with little Ellie, and you could have had a whole season, until it got to season 3 to let her marinate with her camera. So when she came back to John Wick, it would have been goddamn believable.
Nah, kill him early. Kill him early.
No.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about none of that no more. I want to. the Seraphites and the Wolfpacks go at it. I'm interested in Jeffrey Wright in the finale. I'm interested in the priesthood over there in the woods. I want
That's
to
what's gonna
see
happen.
a battle between the two of them.
That
I
would
want to
be
see what they're working with.
No,
That's
that's
really
what's
what
gonna
I'm
happen.
most interested in. Dom literally took the words out of my mouth because I said she's gonna be John Wick, she's gonna be Terminator. They're gonna try to fast forward all the kills on us, and her, getting to Abby, and then they'll probably leave it on a cliffhanger to where we actually don't actually see a showdown between her and Abby until season 3, episode 1, which is just annoying. I feel it, and I hate to say it because I loved season 1. This just feels so haphazard to me. I don't know how you come with the brilliance and the storytelling of a season 1 and you throw this at us. It's like slop. You know what I mean? Like you just put it on a trash can lid and served it up to us. But yeah, those are the only things I see happening. She'll definitely be on Terminator behavior. She's gonna get through the wolf pack. She'll probably get to Abby, and as the final credits come down, we see them eye to eyeball, being the crazy people that they are. But I really, really hope we get to lean into Jeffrey Wright and the Wolfpack and the Seraphites. That's honestly what I'm most interested in seeing.
I actually think that's what's gonna happen. I don't think I'll be surprised if we
if
see
we
Abby.
see Abby at all, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think we're going to see her.
yeah. I think the next episode is gonna be Ellie and Dina and
Oh, you gonna put her
and the other two, Jesse and Tommy, caught in the middle of this civil war between the wolves and the Seraphites. They're just gonna be caught in the middle of the war. It's gonna be real bloody, and then they might get a glimpse of Ellie at the end as a cliffhanger. But I don't think we the show has forgotten that Ellie is supposed to be on a vendetta, and we done got caught in this subplot, and I think that's gonna be the season finale.
Oh, that was the episode. That was the episode. Good conversation. Love when we can get Dom, holding down that line. Hold the line, Dom. Somebody got to hold it for the public.
Hold the door.
Hold it.
Hold the door.
Don't close them doors. Open them doors because Dom is holding the line. Dom holding the line. What do you have coming up over there on your channel?
Well, if you want to see me talk just as passionately about equally unpopular opinions, just come on over to Stream Static Studios. I'm talking about everything that don't nobody agree with me with, but but it's a fun time and we have fun talking about it. So just come on over.
Oh, Lord. Thank you so much, Dom. Quana with the real reviews.
Yeah, I got a couple of movie reviews dropping soon. Final Destination Bloodlines. Gonna finally talk about Forever, so Darfalina can stop harassing me. And every Wednesday, I've got our Wicked movie, Wicked Wednesday. We're watching Get Out this week, and then Thursday for Throwback Thursday, we're watching Beauty Shop. So come and join.
Not Beauty Shop. You trying to whiten up the place. Ashley, sweet perspective. If you mess with me, I'll take your man right out the box and put him under my padlock so we can see him. Absolutely, we might be over there in the chat.
Don't forget tomorrow. Tuesdays are for The Wire. We will be embarking on what is the season 4? Well, the next half of season 4. Season 4, episode 7. I think is where we'll be starting tomorrow. A lot of possibilities for the calendar. Definitely She the People. Definitely Insecure coming at some point. Definitely some other stuff, right? So just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like this live. Make sure you're subscribed to everyone on the panel and have your notification bells selected so you don't miss a thing. Oh, be on the lookout for my Handmaid's Tale review. It'll be up as soon as I watch it. So maybe in the middle of the night, maybe first thing tomorrow morning, but please make sure you help me run that up. This has been quite a season of The Handmaid's Tale. And thank y'all for coming out and joining us tonight. We've had an amazing time with you guys.
Yeah, we have. All the new people that I see here in the chat, be sure to go over and subscribe to everybody here. We love a good, hyper conversation where we can agree to disagree and move on. Like, this is not, a defend, respect my authority type of space. This is a good time. So I love that the community in the chat are championing on Dom or agreeing with myself or Ashley or Quana. That's what it's about. I can't stand the, usher head ass person guarding the door. Like, relax. It's TV. It's fun. We have a conversation, and we come back and we do it again. We will definitely be back with the finale. Y'all just couldn't give us 8 episodes. The finale of the show. I'm going to leave you guys with the members only watch along for this week. My choice, we are watching The Matrix on Saturday. If you guys want to be a part of that, become a member of myself or them sweet peas over there. We would love to have you. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.